Glad you're back on the Altcoin Bull channel. Today we will discuss cryptocurrency and why it is so important. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that uses encryption techniques to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and NFTs are the most popular. Thousands of years ago, there was no such thing as money. Let's call this stage 1. The only way to purchase something from someone was to approach them and say, "Oh, I really like your horse," or something along those lines. "I'll give you my cat in exchange for it." That method has a problem though, because it's possible that even if you are perfectly ready to give up your horse, you just don't want a cat, which means that the trade will never take place. Stage 2. Coins came in. Because they were made of valuable materials like gold and silver, everyone thought that they were worth something. For example, the British pound. They're called pounds because 1 pound used to be 1 pound of silver. As a result, in a trading environment, it becomes irrelevant. If you don't want my cat, that's fine with me. We can still trade for your horse as long as I have coins in my possession. Because silver is a valuable metal, you have the certainty that you may take that coin, give it to another person, and exchange it for something you desire. This evolved to stage 3. As banks became established, we realized that as long as there was trust in the system, we could move away from needing to carry blocks of precious metals towards something even more convenient. Paper money does the same function. However, money currently has a value not because it's composed of pure silver, but because the government declares it to have value. In reality, paper money is merely a record of your ownership. As technologies advanced, humans discovered even more convenient methods of storing and trading our belongings. Now this is stage 4. People are now buying goods online and using credit cards. When we do this, we lose sight of our money. When I purchase a music album from Amazon, my bank adds an item to my spreadsheet. I now have $10 less, while Amazon's bank now has $10 more. This is the context of cryptocurrency. It is regarded as the most convenient age of exchange in human history. Stage 5. Cryptocurrency is 100% virtual. Although the Bitcoin logo looks like a physical coin, there is no gold, there is no silver, there is no paper. People who work with crypto are just running spreadsheets to keep track of who's paid to whom. Instead of multiple banks keeping their own separate records of crypto, there is just one huge spreadsheet of every transaction made with that currency. This is what it's called a ledger. In fact, there are a lot of good things about this kind of money. It's decentralized. This means that even though every transaction of a given cryptocurrency is recorded on the same ledger, there are a lot of things you might know about cryptocurrency, mining or mining for Bitcoin. This is just someone who set up a computer to run through the transactions on their own copy of this ledger. Almost 1 million people are already mining Bitcoins all over the world, and they keep getting better. The reason they are doing so well is that if you use your computer's power to mine, say Bitcoin, you'll get some Bitcoin as a reward. A person who wants to spend 5 Bitcoins on something in a store will have to check with every computer on this network to see if they have enough money. Each computer will let them do it, and then each computer will update its own records. Since there are so many copies of the same ledger, it's very easy to tell if someone is trying to do something bad. If I tried to hack into someone else's computer and change their fingers on their copy of their ledger to give myself more money, they will know. In the end, it won't be able to figure out that 99% of the copies on the ledger say one thing, but one of them says another, so it must have been changed. There's a lot of clear structure to the way things work. People believe in it. because they see the future as more open and traceable transactions than having like some parts of the record over here and some parts over there. Most places in the world have internet access, which all you need for crypto, but lack access to traditional banks because it requires tons of paperwork to operate. One great benefit of crypto is that you no longer need banks due to the fact that everything is maintained on this ledger. You won't have to worry about currency exchange rates or interest rates, and transaction fees are close to $0. There is a reason why cryptocurrencies are called cryptocurrencies. Cryptography is used to keep the currency safe. Like Bitcoin, a lot of big cryptocurrencies uses something called the blockchain. Blockchain is a type of ledger that is safe. It's a big spreadsheet. Blockchain is a way to group things together, which is why it's called blocks. This means that every time I use Bitcoin to pay for something, that transaction is called a block. People who were paid and how much a hash or unique number is in each block. The hash of the last block in a sequence or the last transaction that was recorded is also in each block, along with transaction data, like who was paid and how much a hash. Because each block also has the data from the previous block, you might be able to figure out where this is going. If something in a block is changed, the hash of that block will also change. Changes in this block's hash will not match up with the next block, and so every block after that one is invalid. The idea of a million different users, each having their own copy of the blockchain ledger, then if I wanted to fraudulently create a transaction that paid me money, I'd have to not only tamper with a block and every subsequent block, but also on at least 500,000 computers worldwide. Cryptocurrencies do have their drawbacks. That brings me to investments. You've probably heard of people investing in cryptocurrencies. They're exchanging traditional currencies like dollars for cryptocurrencies, hoping that those cryptocurrencies will skyrocket in value. Bitcoin is just one of over 4,000 other cryptos, each with its own set of features. For example, Ethereum, the second most popular cryptocurrency, can process transactions even quicker than Bitcoin. There's a cryptocurrency called Cardano, which is considered technologically superior, and there's one called Litecoin, which uses a newer algorithm. This is one of the main dark sides. Many people do not take cryptocurrency seriously because of its volatility, due to the fact that these cryptocurrencies are so new and are entirely digital. When a good article about them is published, prices spiral upward. However, when Elon Musk publishes or tweets about them, they plummet to the point where they are not accepted as a means of payment in the majority of establishments. And yes, I can book vacations using cryptocurrency or donate to some organizations, but there have been a number of companies who have been quite inconsistent with it. Some would say that this is a problem for the environment because transactions are being validated many times by many computers, but that's the reason why cryptos are so secure. So I think it's a valid argument to say that this process requires a lot of electricity. However, you may argue that traditional banking consumes more electricity. According to Chainalysis, 0% to 5% of crypto transactions are criminal. Cash is just a superior currency for most forms of illicit activities because it is untraceable by its own nature. But aside from these drawbacks, there are a few oddities that have arisen as a result of cryptocurrency. You may have heard of an NFT, for example. In addition, the token is non-fungible. So you know how you can now go into an art gallery and buy a picture of a certain amount of money? You can now pay only to have digital ownership of something due to the blockchain. As a result, no one is prevented from utilizing or sharing that item. But all it means is that you'd effectively be the owner of the original, and they'd all be sharing copies of it, even though they look and act the same, for all intents and purposes. Many of these NFTs are nothing more than JPEG photos. Some would say this is amusing because there is an important difference between purchasing an NFT and purchasing the rights to something. So if you buy the things to something, it's a perfectly legal purchase because you can utilize an NFT to make merch or sell licenses. You can't, since the piece's original owner retains all reproduction rights. All you're doing is proving to the blockchain that you have some ownership of that item. You've probably heard of Dogecoin. Dogecoin uses the same technology as Litecoin. Because it was designed as a joke, people began sharing it and investing money in it because they found it amusing. However, its value advanced to the point where some people became millions simply by purchasing Dogecoin while it was inexpensive. I'm sure you learned something from today's video. We bring you the best, the most updated news and trends in the crypto world. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. This is the Altcoin Bull channel. See you in the next video.